and show. We're on the air at 9 o'clock on every weekday night, taking calls about the Jazz.
Hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxture, on the panel this evening is the one and only Bridgeman. How we doing, Bridge?
Oh, good evening to you, Oxger. And can I just say a big good evening to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on air on Rangers Radio. Everybody, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
How we doing, my old Carolina?
Well, I'm a lot better now after yesterday. I think Friday we'd said something like, look, after last night, Thursday's result, even if we lost to Celtic, it wouldn't be too big a turn down for us. But the truth is, it's a bit of a bummer. That's all it is. Yeah.
Listen, mate, to the day they put that final screw in our box, mate, it'll always hurt, mate. Yeah. It's in the blood, mate, and it'll not go away. But I think we're going to have to look at it in context, mate. And I'm sure as people join us, we'll dissect the game and we'll look at it.
Well,
And maybe making it happy, maybe Arfield and Jack maybe policing the territory. Our forward players gave the ball away cheaply. We never kept the ball. A lot of reasons for it. A learning curve, but what we've got is 6 new players were making their debuts. They didn't do brilliantly. But where we are, where we've been, where we are, we're the finishing team. We're improving, Bridget, and we will get better, mate.
Oh, absolutely. I have every faith in them. And the truth of the matter is, although, how can we say it? We saw it ourselves for our own eyes. We watched up against, as I said the other day, up against Aberdeen, we sort of hung on, and unfortunately we lost a goal. Up against Motherwell, we did the same thing. Up against that mob out, whatever their name was, Ufa, we did a similar exercise, but with 9 men, but a supersonic exercise for us, tremendous stuff. And unfortunately, we couldn't do it on Saturday. We got beat 1-0. So, to go to his goal there with the team that we've got and play the way we did, particularly in the second half, I thought we were excellent in the second half, considering where we were. I was very happy with it.
I think we responded well to losing the goal, and I think the annoying people for some people was how did we maybe not play like that for the start. I'll give you my take on the game, Bridge, and then you can have your take, yeah? Is that all right with you?
Yeah, go for it, bud. No problem.
I think we went out with a game plan, containing them, particularly for the first 20 minutes, because if you listen to some of Steven Gerrard's interviews, he knows that they came out the box quite well. What they done is they sort of played with it was like a 1-6-1 Bridge, with Brown joining up the midfield like he does, and then they flood the midfield for the wingers to get forward. And for the first half an hour, mate, I thought we were pretty comfortable. It wasn't great to watch. And then the last 15 minutes of the first half, they get a bit of joy. Corner kicks, obviously, they hit the woodwork twice. One was a big deflection. I think McGregor had it. To a deflection. And then we stopped playing and struggled a wee bit. And a lot of it was with rain-making because we weren't passing the ball properly at the right times. Got to half-time. I thought, well, that's okay. I'll take that. I think we'll improve. Second half started, we didn't start great. Individual errors, no big mistakes, but just passes astray, no keeping the ball, putting us under pressure. They were getting a lot of corners, but we defended them really, really well. And then we were just beginning to come into the game. You could see us, they were starting to run out of ideas, in my opinion. And then obviously the major talking point, they broke away. Roger and Jack come together. They broke away. Our set up wasn't brilliant. They scored a goal. If we scored the goal, we'd have said it was a good counter-attack move, taking the foul away. And then we responded okay. They never done a lot. They were just happy to see the game out. We had 2 big chances. Morelos and Tavernier. Morelos hit the target, blocked by the goalkeeper. Tav ended up doing nothing. Either a cross or a shot. So we had our chances to get the equaliser. We didn't play brilliant. We know that. But what we do know, Bridge, is we will improve. Over to you, mate.
I think so. I think you're right there. I have to say, if I'm going to say about disappointments, I was disappointed in Tavernier. I thought Tavernier, for me, had quite a poor game. But I thought our 2 forwards, even Lafferty and Morelos, never really, as you said, the ball never stuck to them hardly at all. Although Lafferty put himself about a lot, he caused a bit of mayhem with particularly that boy Lustig. So that proves that Lafferty kind of prefers to play out in the leftish. He likes that because he likes to get into the fullbacks for some reason. But overall, I thought we did very well to hold on until half time, to be honest. We were getting a wee bit pummeled and things like that. Our defence were resolute, shall we say. And most of the problems were coming from the corner kicks and dead ball situations, particularly corner kicks on our right.
In your opinion, would you say the team that play for set pieces?
Them.
Yes, them.
Did I think? Well, absolutely. That was their whole game. Their whole game was about pumping the ball up and getting it into basically getting the ball so they could cross it in. They played a very wide game as much as possible, and the only time they ever actually properly came through the middle was when they actually scored the goal. And I take my hat off to a big danger for me in my mind at all times against us is Rogic. Rogic, once he gets into his stride, he's a very, very long stride and he's hard to catch. And we saw that. Our midfield probably ran out of legs, to be perfectly honest with you. And by the end of the day, you saw it. They had 3 men in our box, waiting, one crossing the ball and 2 waiting for it. And we never had an answer to it. So you can't complain about that. The only thing I complain about is I thought it was a free kick. But what the hell, you know?
I think it's a free kick, 4 out of 10. And what I say with that, I thought when I seen it again, I think he hooked his legs with him. I was looking for a free kick at the time, and then I seen it again. I thought, wow. But I say it's a free kick. You don't get every foul all the time, Bridge. Doesn't matter.
No, I agree.
You know, in the context of the game. So I'm saying it's a foul, 4 out of 10, in my opinion.
I would suggest, Docs, Jerry, I'm not being funny when I say this, and there's no bitterness in me at all. If we had VAR, yeah, the game would probably continue, and they would probably put the ball in the net as it was. But if the referees if there's a VAR there and there's a call for the VAR to be used, we would have got a free kick there, and that goal would have been disallowed. That's my opinion. That's under fair rules, of course.
Yeah, no, it depends who's sitting.
Yes, of course.
It depends who's sitting watching the VAR, you know. But that's about I've seen it. Anyway, Bridge, if people want to join us, what's the number?
Or they can join us 0141 356 1972.
Or you can join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We brought in the call and join us on the show. So we're down, but we're not disheartened, mate, are we?
For me, no. I'm as high as a kite. We're in Europe. And
yeah.
I don't want to sound too very paranoid or something like that, but you look at our first 4 games this season.
I believe we're the only team in Britain that's played through the first 4 games away from home, mate. Somebody said that. I've not checked
and
it, mate.
Not only that, but our opposition at the weekend there, they had 2 of their first 3 games away from home. 2 of their games that wasn't even away from at home, should I say, was against teams that came up for the league below. So the first was St Mirren, first game, and then they played Livingston. So what can I say? You know, if you just think about it that way. So, and we've got 3 of the hardest teams.
But this is
that we
time
would
for
ever
us,
play.
as I said yesterday, this is time for us to go on a run.
Oh,
Anyway, we'll be joined
yeah.
with our first call of the evening. I'll give you a clue, Bridge. You're listening for us, see if you can get it, yeah?
Go on.
You're listening. He's just finished his 7th course.
7th course. Got to be Rudy. Rudy.
Gentlemen, how we doing? How is everything?
Good to see you know off your food, prayer.
No, I tell you, there's no much you put me off my food, sure. I like my dinner, I have to say. That was a pretty fair summation, Ox. Just caught your summation there in the game, aye. It was a pretty fair summation. I think I would agree with almost everything you said.
Aye, well, I mean, it's only my opinion, mate. You only can see what you say, can't you? Old Roy, was it Roy Walker used to say?
You know, I sat and watched it the day again, and, you know, I had to put myself through it again, you know, just for the sake of it, you know. I think you watch a game when you know the score, win, lose or draw, you tend to watch it with a sort of, not so much a more critical eye, maybe a more rational eye when you watch it second time round once you know what the score is.
The emotion's gone, innit?
The emotion's gone out the game, so you could sit there and just watch how everything unfolded in front of you. And I said yesterday after the game that I didn't think we really deserved to take anything out of the game. And unfortunately, if I have to be honest about it, Ox, I still think the same thing, you know. But
we never played well, Rudy.
No,
Come on, we've got to be honest about it.
Of course we have, you know. There was loads of mitigating circumstances for me, you know. Koulibaly would have been on that part yesterday. I think he'd have made a difference. You know, you got a 3,000-mile journey. They never get back. You know, tough game with 9 men. They didn't get back until about, 2 o'clock in the morning, 1:30, 2 o'clock on the Friday morning. I think, you know, watching the players do it was a real lacklustre performance. But when you look at everything, you know, that was involved in the sort of 48 hours running up to the game, you can understand why, Ox, you know. I mean, there's 13 games, and that's the first defeat in 13 games. Can you give him a shuriken for that?
No.
No, really. No, in my opinion, you can't. You know, I mean, there's some been... I'm going to use my favourite word here, Ox, but there's been some absolute garbage written in the papers for the Timmy media, as you would expect.
Let him carry on, mate. This is good. This is good for us, mate. Look, I think the big... And you're right, mate. What we've got to do is we've got to go on a run.
Yeah.
And this is what's important now. The Dundee game, actually, Ibrox becomes a far bigger game than the Celtic game because it's the start of your run. Anyway, Rudy, you carry on.
Sorry.
But in the meantime, just to let you know, we'll be joined with Fox. Carry on, Rudy.
You know, and it's a good point that Bridge makes there. You know, the first 4 games of the season, they send us away from home to probably 3 of the hardest games that you'll get, you know. And they get Livingston and St Mirren at home. You know, so there you go. There's the SFA for you, you know. But for me, the next 2 weeks is great. It's great now that it's annoying for us as Rangers supporters because we don't get to see the team play now for a couple of weeks.
What are we going to do on Thursday, Rudy?
I know.
8 Thursdays in a row. Well, sorry, there was one of them on a Wednesday night, wasn't there?
Aye.
But apart from that, all these Thursday night games, what are we going to do then?
I know, we've not got them now, have we? So I'm sure we'll find something to talk about. But they really do need it though, Ox. I think the exertions they've put in, Thursday, Sunday, 8 games, you know, some really tough games in there as well, you know, playing with less than 11 men and big games that, you know, they expended a lot of energy. I think they've got to the point now where the boys really do need a wee bit of a breather. And I don't think it could have come at a better time, Ox, in all honesty. I don't think it could have.
I love the way you mentioned Koulibaly, Rudy, and I do wish, and I think every Rangers fan does wish that he could have been playing at the weekend there. However, he's going to come back, and I hope he brings his big cousin, Multi Koulibaly, and he's maybe 6 inches taller than him and tougher and tougher, because we need 2 Koulibalys in our midfield. We need 2 fighters. I mean,
Bridge,
real fighters.
You've heard me saying often enough, Bridge, that these games, and I'm sure everybody agrees as well, these games are won and lost for me in the midfield, Bridge, and you're absolutely right. They're won and lost in the midfield. You know, it doesn't matter how many, you know, what your players are like on the wings for me. Solid defence, and you need a ball battling, winning midfield. So you do. They're lost and winning in the midfield.
The funny thing about yesterday was, and I'll go to Bridge and then we'll bring Fox in. We were just turning the tide, mate, when they got the breakaway, the goal, mate. You could see you could see with the way their support were starting to react, and the game was starting to go. It was just starting to turn in our favour, and I think it was Fox when I was talking to him last night, just when he was getting ready to go to dancing. It was like rope-a-dope. It was like he used the words rope-a-dope, and I thought that was a good way of summing it up. It just at the time they got the knockout punch, just as we were just about to get them on the ropes. Bridge, and then we'll bring in Fox.
Well, what I I'm trying to say is that I think one of our best, particularly from a defensive patrolling in front of the defence, is Ryan Jack. But when Ryan Jack moves up, which he's very good at, and he's a good pace to get up. If he can't finish the ball, he's going to fall. He's going to fall on his arse, invariably. So unfortunately for him, when he goes up, he just can't get back. And I'm nothing against the boy. Lovely player, and I absolutely love him. What a cope. He plays for Rangers for years. But he's not a Koulibaly. He's not a box-to-box player. Excuse me, I'm coughing here. But I believe sincerely that we need someone to support him. I thought Arfield played no bad, but then again, I don't think he's a true defensive midfielder.
No,
we need two people in there.
He's a stealer. He works hard. He gets in front of people. I actually thought he was the best out of the three in the midfield yesterday. And I'll give you my reasons why. I thought in the first half they worked really, really hard, mate. They were going from side to side, going with runners and closing people down. And they weren't getting on the ball. We're looking for Arfield and Ajira potentially getting the ball and drive us forward, run with the ball. And it just didn't happen because they were doing a lot of running off the ball. And when you go to 60 minutes, you could actually see that young lad was maybe just, he'd gone, in my opinion, because the way he's played and the effort he put in Thursday night was unbelievable. Anyway, let me bring in Fox. Let me bring in Fox, and then I'll come to you, mate. Evening, Fox.
Hello.
How we doing, mate? How we doing, mate? We never heard much from you yesterday. Here's your thoughts, mate. Obviously, you're disappointed, but you're a realist, mate. How do you see it, mate?
I thought we played the whole game too deep. I think it was part of the plan to try and save energy after our trip abroad. I think our manager thought that we were able to hold them out, mate, and maybe hitting the counter-attack. But all we did was invite more and more pressure. We need to find a way to combat the way they play, because as soon as they get the ball, mate, at the back, they move players forward into like 6 across the midfield and 1 up front, and we need to find out how to combat that. It's not working whatever way we try it. I thought that the midfield were getting overrun because they were managing to get both Tierney and Lustig up quickly to join McGregor, Rodgick and Forrest, and even Nitcham was breaking for his defensive midfield road, and we found that hard to deal with in some parts of the game. Overall, that was as good as they could possibly play, and we were poor on the day. So I'm not too disappointed. We'll get better.
Foxy, can I just ask you a quick... Sorry, pal.
On you go, mate. On you go.
I was just going to say to Foxy, see that team that they played? That's a team that they've had for 2 years. The basis of a team they've had for 2 years. And that's a team that took them last year into the Champions League group stages. So they're a very, very highly qualified, fit team, you know. And like there's that boy in Cham that scored the goal for them. I thought he was unbelievable against us. We just could not get past him, in my opinion. Even when we got the ball and we're trying to run away from him, he was dogged, and he came at us again. We need to be more dogged than them. Simple as that. That's what we need to do. We need to be stronger, bigger and stronger, more robust and harder, and boot them. Because they boot us, boot them.
No. The thing is, Bridge, they get people into the areas where the ball's being played, and that does come through experience and playing together.
Look,
but,
you saw their wide play. Their wide play tore us apart. And I thought our left back was quite good, but Forrest still managed to cut inside him because he never had anybody helping from a forward or a midfield perspective, in my opinion. because the midfield were all in front of our midfields appeared to be in front of the defence, and the left side and the right side, or our right, Tavernier was having a howler at times, so they were getting the ball in out wide, and lovely passes, not fluky passes, lovely passes right to the man's feet, and they were taking 5 yards with the ball and getting it, whipping it in, and they were whipping it in good style. And you saw that when we got a wee Griffiths, wee Thumbie came on. He did the same thing, although he never scored. But he came in and he managed to whip the ball in, particularly corners and that. And he's deadly at it. So we need to be able to combat them. We have to combat them in midfield. We have to battle.
I mean,
wait a minute, before Rudy, you came in, that you've been dying to get in, you go, mate.
I don't doubt what you say there, Bridge, because I watched the same game that you did, and a lot of what you say there is true. But what really struck me the day? That was the performance yesterday. I'm talking about the Rangers' performance here, obviously. That was the performance, Bridge, of a tired team. That's what that was.
It, didn't it?
Yeah. It was a 3,000-mile round trip. They expended a huge amount of energy because they only had 9 men in the park. Thursday night, never get back to about 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. on Friday morning. Probably had very little time to recover before the game early on a Sunday. And it just looked, when I watched it again this afternoon, it just looked to me, Bridge, like the performance of a tired team. And for me, the point I wanted to make about Ajaria, see when Ajaria, you see him running back, right, and the boy's legs, people are giving him a hard time on social media for no tracking at the goal, tracking the player. He tries, he's got nothing in his legs, Bridge. He gets to a point and he just thinks, I can't keep this pace up. I've got to slow down because he's just got nothing left in his legs, the boy.
Do you know,
the amount of effort he put in on Thursday night contributed to his performance yesterday. So it's easy for them to get in about our players and be passing the ball about and look like Barcelona, Bridge, when you're playing against a team that had to travel 3,000 miles and never get back to 2 o'clock on the Friday morning,
But I think there's a combination of a few things. Look, we never passed the ball well when we had it.
No.
B, they've been together longer as a team. C, we never played that well. And B, their set-up, the way we set up was to make sure they never came through the middle, which they didn't for the vast majority of the game. And when the set pieces and the crossbars, Golston and Katic and McGregor dealt with most of it. But did McGregor have one save in the first half when he put it wide, when he parried it wide? They hit the post for a corner kick, and the bar, and obviously the deflected shot, But look, I think there's a lot of reasons. We will get better. Anyway, we've been joined by Boy's Shadow. How we doing, Boy?
Hey, Blue, how you doing?
How we doing, boys? I had to come in there and sort of got a bit of a different view of what you boys have been saying, or it's changed since yesterday.
Well, man, you better make sure you're up in all your Rangers knowledge before you come on here on anything that's happened in the last 24 hours, You know that Gerrard's my manager, Blue. You know that Gerrard's my manager. And do you know we signed Gareth McCauley today? Did you manage to read that?
Before I came on, unlike somebody, I didn't come on here eating soup.
No, that was a rolling on these. It was travel wrong. It was eating soup.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. I know I didn't. I know certain other people on the panel at the minute came on eating, but it's a bit off light. But there you
go. On you go, mate. See what your thoughts were.
Well, I mean, the fact is, yes. I mean, we've got the team were a bit tired and all the rest of it. And although I wasn't that keen on when we signed Stevie Gerrard, I've seen what he's done throughout the past couple of months, and he's done a fantastic job. Say that for starters. But yesterday, it's plain and simple. More than anything else, he got it wrong. He played the same tactics we've been playing away in Europe, and they didn't work. It's just unfortunate. It's one of those things. I'm not going to slate him for it. I know he's a new manager and he's learning, but he got it. Simple fact is he got it wrong, and he's going to have to learn for that and move forward.
There was I would have played the exact same team, but I would have Candias in on the right instead of the boy Kent. And in hindsight, you might have been better with Kent on the left, but I would have played Lafferty in that position.
That was the difference that we had between us.
I would have played Lafferty, but I just can't understand. It's my opinion.
They wasn't working.
Also, I think I think he also got the substitution thing wrong as well, Blue Shadow, to be honest. You know?
Absolutely. I mean, Ajaria was done 50, 55 minutes.
Yeah.
I think, give him a break. 60 minutes, he should have been off that field and put on McCrory or change it or do something. That was the whole thing, was when things started going pear-shaped, he didn't appear to change it. And that's the one thing that was a little bit worrying. Whether he will learn that moving forward, I don't know. Gary McAllister's been a manager a number of times. Was Gerrard no listening, or did the pair of them not pick it up? So that's something.
Maybe they were happy when it was gone, as long as it was 1-0. Nothing each, mate. They maybe didn't want to change it, but I agree with you. I think, and it's not a criticism of the boy Ajaria, because he was absolutely superb for us in the last few games.
And the reason we conceded is the same old reason we've had for donkey's ages, which was really just so frustrating, was when the team moved forward, the back line didn't move forward that much. They didn't push up to push forward to support the forward players, and we ended up with the team stretched out, and it was so easy for them to pass through and get us and catch us out that way. So it's just, again,
we were in a good position, and it wasn't the greatest cross in the world off the Arfield, if I remember right. I mean, I've not watched it again. I never watched it after the game.
I can't quite remember. I'd be lying if I said I could, mate.
That's exactly what happened. The ball broke out.
Yeah.
And Jack went to pick it up and had the ball, And I thought it was a free kick, right?
As I said, sometimes it's one of those free kicks. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, but remember what Roderick did. We can't take it away for the guy. The guy picked the ball up, took it off Ryan Jack, and he ran. It must have ran 70 yards, 60 yards anyway.
Same thing he's done against us for the past 3 or 4 games.
Exactly. And we had nothing.
Same bloody side of the park as well. If you excuse me.
So what had happened, mate, is all your forwards players, when Arfield got I think it was obviously
they're all up there.
Everybody's went forward, and then there were 2 fullbacks that went forward. The whole midfield's up, and then a bad cross, and then we get exposed. Look, fair comment, Blue. I think. With the personnel, there would only been maybe one change for me. I don't know what anybody else would have seen it differently. For a lot of reasons, Candice has done okay against them. Him and Tav worked quite well defensively, and also there's been a few times where Candice has had the number of Tierney. But obviously the manager prefers Ryan Kent's pace, because I would say he's got more explosive pace than what Candice has got. I think Candice is reasonably quick, but not as electric as Ryan. So that was the reason for bringing him in. But look, it's an easy game when you're not in the heat of the battle. But I hope you're right, Blue. I hope the manager learns for the small things, and I hope the team come out fired to go on a run now.
Can I come in that box, dear?
Let Fox come in, and then you're
right. Okay, no problem.
What you mean? We want me to come in and talk about what?
Yesterday's game. Well, you can talk about last night when you're night out, or you can talk about Saturday's race, whatever you want.
Oh, the lobbies, their ears are all pricked up and they're waiting and they're how you going last night?
Unfortunately, somebody was saying that we made the wrong substitutions. When you look on the bench yesterday, we didn't really have, because of injuries, we didn't have a lot to change, guys. We had Candice, who was the only attacking player on the subs bench. We could have swapped him. I actually thought Ryan Kent had a half-decent game, mate. He put in a power of work tracking back and trying to get forward, gave the ball away on certain occasions because they'd no target to hit with some of his passes. We could have brought on Ross McCrory, but I don't think that was the problem. As I say, the problem was at all times when they came forward, they had a sort of 2-in-1 in every one of your players, especially down the wings. And what they do is Forrest will kid on, he's going to go forward, slip it back to Lustig, and then it opens up the midfield for them. By that time, their midfield have poured forward. We need to get wise to it. We've watched them enough and we know how they do it. They flood the midfield and take control, and I don't know how we stop it, but somebody will need to come up with an answer for it.
Can I put in a question that
what?
Bidge can answer? Is right with
Better not be a hard one.
as Fox said, with there wasn't really terribly much for the midfield area that we could bring onto the pitch. So does that not bring into question the putting Doherty out on loan until Duran's was fully fit and in form? He'd had a couple of games under his belt, so we could bring, because he would have been ideal to bring on, and a young Doherty would have been ideal to bring on in young Ajaria's place. He's good going forward. In fact, when he played for Hamilton, I think he was top scorer at one point.
Oh, the whole problem with that is, Blue, is we had to get people out the door to get other people in. And we've had a wee run of injuries there that we couldn't have foreseen. And we've got quite a few midfielders out that would make a difference to our team, in Dorns and Koulibaly and people like that. And it's just unfortunate we've hit these injuries so early in the season. Our team will improve because we've got quality players still to bring in. As I said earlier on, that was as good as they could play. They beat us 1-0. Maybe at a stretch it might have went to 2. But it wasn't an all-power doing we got, I didn't think. And as I say, coming to the future, we'll have players to put in that midfield that's not available to us at the moment.
But Fox, sorry, to finish this up, was we have only lost one player since Doherty went out on loan. So that means any one of our midfielders got injured, we've got a problem. To me, that raises a question. And yesterday, we let Zach, and as I was pulled up for the other day, they'd put Zach Rudden in. Zach Rudden's away out on loan. Sadiq's no play. He's got an injury. We don't have a striker to put on the bench to come on. If Lafferty or Morelos had got injured, we haven't got a striker to replace him. Just little things that raise questions over the manager. And I hope I'm wrong, but it's starting to the little things that he needs to pick up on.
Doherty had his chance in these games and never shone. And the thing is, he needed to go out on loan and get some more game time, see if he could up his game, mate. We can't look to people like Zach Rudden, who have never technically or really played any sort of run of games in the Rangers first team. I thought the big mistake was playing the two up front, mate, because I didn't think it would work unless you were flooding the midfield. That's how I said first time ever. Then we should go 3 at the back and risk bringing the loan signing in, so we could get bodies into the midfield where you can compete. And Lafferty to me was a passenger yesterday. No fault of his own. Morelos was the same, because we couldn't get decent balls to them. So
which gave Roderick a chance, didn't it? Really, because he's up against Lafferty rather than somebody like Kent, who's useful coming back to help out the fullbacks.
I watched at the start of the game, mate, and Lafferty and Morelos both went into that channel that Brown operates in. They were on the left and right hand side of him when the ball was back at their keeper. And I think they were trying to cut out the balls going to him, because although he's not exactly a startling player, he does kick off their attacks going forward. But that never worked, mate. They never got close enough to him. They were both sides of him, but never actually shut him down for me.
I think they let him. I think they gave him the ball, let him take it, and their midfield.
But we were quite happy for most of the first half, Bridge, when they were passing the ball across. I mean, the most of the possession in the first half an hour was across the halfway line. And we were just getting our shape.
In their own half.
And we were just getting our shape and then quite content. What I will say is the last 15 minutes was a wee bit different, but most of it came down our right, their left. And that's why we have to be a wee bit smarter and just sometimes react. But we got away with it and we got in at half time, and then we never changed our shape. And I think in hindsight, and it's only in hindsight, it's not a criticism, it's an observation. I don't know who it was. I think it was maybe Rudy said maybe Ross McCrory for a Jaira. I never thought of that yesterday, but that might have been the move, just to give his extra legs in there. No, knowing Ross, he could have come on and put Brown up there and get sent off and be right back up the tunnel. But because he would have been, he plays with a heart, not with a head, and the boys never let us down, and it might have been just because we needed their legs, and Look, it's an observation.
Do you know,
On you go, Rudy.
I also think as well, and in the final third, see, one or two better decisions had been made as well, the Hawks. There is a possibility we could have got something for the game, and there's one point, as you mentioned, I think you mentioned yesterday, the Tav got into a good position and then done absolutely nothing with the ball. I thought Tav was pretty poor yesterday, unfortunately.
Series of long passes and breach nobody.
Yeah, I think he's played so well in the last few games, and it was yesterday he didn't exactly hit the heights yesterday, unfortunately. But then, neither did anybody else really. Apart from the goalie and the centre back.
Sorry.
No, on you go.
I just wanted to come in and say, we've played them. As far as I'm concerned, we could have ended up a draw there yesterday. And if it had ended up a draw, it would have been an absolute disaster for them. It would have been an absolute disaster. Or, heaven forbid, if we'd scored a goal late on in the game, it would have killed them. They were up. This is one thing that our players, as a team, as a squad, and maybe even as a club, we need to get together. And when we're playing them, we need to be as high as they are when they're playing us. They're doing a lap of honour. Yesterday. A lap of honour. They won 1-0 at home. Unbelievable. Against a team they don't even believe exists. Unbelievable.
That shows you, Bridge, what they thought of that game yesterday before it. You know what I mean? The build-up to that game. It shows you what they thought. There's a team who's travelled halfway across Europe. Then they get back to 2 in the morning, played with 9 men for the best part of a game. A really tough game. And they get a 1-0 win in their own midden. And then they're doing a lap of honour at the end of it all,
And anybody's surprised about such a classless club anyway. Look, if people want to join us, what's the number, Bridgeman?
The number's 01413561972.
Where else can you join us, Fox?
Rangers Radio, online on Skype, and I'll bring you into the call.
What can you talk about, Blue Shadow?
Anything Rangers related.
Yeah.
Well said, Blue. Well said, pal.
Particularly for yesterday's game. I mean, I think we all accept, what was that, 5.5 performance out of 10? Is that maybe fair? It wasn't great.
No.
You've been a bit generous there.
Hold it. Can I ask you a question? Are you saying that's against an expectation of another attacking performance? Then yes, you're right. If you're looking at a sort of defensive, is this what the manager asked them to do? Then they actually did quite well. They did keep them out.
But we never passed the ball, Bridge.
Yes, I understand that.
And anyway, we've been joined by the voice of reason. Cushy number, how are we doing?
No, him. He's got no reason at all.
He's been getting a bit of stick in social media on some of the forums, so it's Cushy Hugs.
That'll be nothing will have changed then in that respect.
Hey, Cushy, can I just say something? That avatar of yours looks quite ominous, mate.
That's a selfie.
Is that a selfie, is it? Yeah, he looks like a Marvel villain, isn't it?
That's the plan. That's the plan, mate.
Sorry to point that out.
Look as sinister as possible.
Well, the way they pick him on that forum. Oh. And Gogsy was getting that bit as well.
I think that's the only reason I was invited on the forum, so that Gogsy could get a bit of a rest. Actually,
Poor Gogsy. Anyway,
take some of the pressure off him.
Anyway, now you've had time to reflect. Has your thoughts changed, mate?
Not particularly. I mean, it's a bit deflating, in terms of the result. And that's still, there's a little bit of a hangover today. When you see the way the press go about their business, that it's just kind of reinforced, in terms of them trying to just kind of lord it over the Rangers support a little bit, So I find all that a bit depressing. But in terms of how we went about our business, I think I agree with the guys on the panel. I think we did sit too deep. Our midfield offered nothing. I thought Tav and Barisic, our defence was sitting so deep that Tav and Barisic couldn't do what they do well, would just get further up the park and deliver some crosses. So, and when we don't get that from those areas, forwards are starved of any service whatsoever. So, and I think we just seen that with the ball just kind of getting lumped aimlessly forward, or midfield getting completely missed out, and then so I think it was a genuinely poor performance from us. I think the 5.5 out of 10 that you mentioned, Dave, is probably I think it's flattering us a little bit, but I think we'll learn from it. We've got a lot of boys that it was their first experience of an Old Firm game. For a few of them, it's probably the biggest. It's probably the biggest footballing encounter that they've actually had in their careers so far, and it's not just been out in the park against, what is, it's 60,000 opposition fans and only 800 of ours or something like that. It's about the whole day. It's about the whole build-up. It's the reception you're getting when you get to Celtic Park. These boys have got to start handling all that on a regular basis, and we will do it. We've seen some of them I thought handled it fantastically well. In terms of Katic and Goldson, I thought they looked, to the manner born when they were on the park yesterday, and that bodes well for us for the future. But a few other boys, I think, have to just get used to it, step up a little bit, and get the experience of being in that atmosphere, of that very hostile atmosphere, and trying to play football when you're in that atmosphere. And we'll get. I've no doubt we'll get there. But it was still a bit of a sore one yesterday.
It's always sore, mate. It's always sore. Anyway, because you'll cut across you, mate, we've been joined with two callers, evening callers.
Hello, how you doing? It's Big G for Hamilton.
Big G for Hamilton. And who else? Who else is ways?
It's Tom for Peterborough.
Right, Tom, I'll take you first, mate, because Big G's been on before. I don't recognise. Is this your first time you've phoned in, Tom?
It is, yeah.
How you doing, mate? What's on your mind?
Not too bad. I just want to really sort of get your views on what you think of the youth process at the moment, because obviously over like the years that Rangers have been successful, we've had a lot of youth players in the team, and I just don't understand the whole signing loan players like Kent and Najari, who I don't obviously think are good enough. They're not as good as some of the youth players that we've got, and I think that we should have brought some youth through this season.
What youth players are on your mind about being good enough in their positions, mate? Who are you thinking?
Well, I honestly think that Ryan Hardy is an unbelievable striker, and he should have been given a chance to prove that this year under Gerrard. I mean, funny one him getting a new contract then getting it on loan, wasn't it? It's unbelievable. Why have the lad if you're not going to give him a chance? You know what I mean? I just don't understand it. He's got something special, Hardy. He really has.
I'll pass that question to our youth expert. Blue Shadow spends a lot of time looking at how the reserves and the young team's getting on. Blue?
Well, the main problem that I see with Ryan Hardy is Ryan Hardy's a bit of a specialist. He loves either the ball up over the top of the defence where he can run onto it, or through the channels again where he can run onto it and use his pace. With the teams that we play, the majority of the teams, with the exception of probably the Mankey Mob, Hibs and Aberdeen, they're going to park the bus, so there's no space behind for Hardy to run onto. Perhaps what he's working on is the other parts of his game which have got to come on. He's a big lad. He's 6'2". He should be good in the air and holding up the ball. And perhaps those are the areas that they've sent him out to work on. So that if you can get this right, we'll give you another contract.
Tom, have you not been happy with Ajira's performances in the last few games, mate? I think he's been one of our best players up until yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think he's strong enough, really. He's got the footwork and that. Scotland's a different ball game, isn't it, from England? You've got to be tough. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I just don't think he's strong enough. There's a lot of players like Kent. He's good with his foot, but he's not strong enough. We need strong players that are going to keep the ball, and I think they're the wrong choice. But we'll wait and see.
Kent's got pace, mate. I've not seen personally, and I know Fox sees it differently, and I'll go to Fox with this one, but I've not seen a lot for Kent. Apart from his pace and he's running with the ball, he's not offered a lot with the final ball.
He just seems to run around a lot, and that's it.
Are you thinking of Barjonas, perhaps, Tom, in that position?
No, I'm not. No. What, me? What, to replace Kent?
Not Kent, a defensive midfielder.
No,
Ejaria sort of area. But you see, that's like Ejaria doesn't have the mobility. It has the mobility that Barjonas doesn't. Although Barjonas is a big, strong lad, so it swings and roundabouts, really.
You know, I think we need that. We need that physical toughness, don't we? You know what I mean?
All right, Tom, I'm going to go to Stevie for Hamilton, Big G for Hamilton, mate. Listen, Tom.
Big G, how you doing, pal?
How did you find the show, Tom? I'll come to you in a minute, Big G. The G spot.
Aye, I'll be hitting that later.
All the years you've used for it, Tom. Tom, how did you find the show?
Yeah, it's great. I listen as much as I can, guys, when I'm not at work.
All right, smashing, mate. Listen, don't be a stranger, mate. And if you want to just hang about, I'll go to Big G. He's one of our characters.
I always leave comments anyway. I'm always on the chat log. So,
cheers, mate. Cheers, Tom.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye bye.
Cheers, mate. There we go. How we doing, Big G? Oh, it's gone.
You've blown it.
The Coop's joined us.
How we doing, the Coop?
Hello, guys. How you doing?
All right, mate. There's a man, a voice of reason, the Coop, mate. Who knows his football?
I'll be right.
That's what I was thinking, Coop. I was just thinking that.
Hello, you cut me off, man.
No, we never.
I'm telling you did. Did you mean it?
No, we never meant it, mate. On you go, mate, and then we'll bring in the Coop. On you go.
Nah, mate. I was just phoning up because I watched the game yesterday, obviously, as I watch every game. And I think we're getting a wee bit carried away because, see, since the home tie against UFA, or UFA, UFA, whatever you want to call them.
Yes.
We've been mints, mate. We've been mints. We never played well that night. And here we did, right? We didn't play well at Firth Park. The away tie, we were doing 9 men. We done all right, obviously, to get through. And we didn't play well yesterday. So, I think there's a lot of people missing the boat here. See if anybody says any different. We've not played well since the last home European tie. Or since that tie.
With the first leg against Youth?
Aye.
I don't think you're wrong there, mate. I mean, Motherwell, the second half was it. The first half we played no bad football, but the second half we were pretty poor. We were hanging on. The Thursday night's game was quite unique, wasn't it? I mean, I'll be honest with you, I thought when we got the goal, the tie was finished. And I thought we would just see it out. But then it became an eventful game and exciting because of the circumstances. But I would say it was heroic rather than a football performance. And you're right, on Sunday, we didn't play well.
We didn't play well. No. I don't know what's going on, but I'm getting that vibe. We're still short in the middle of the park, a bit of muscle, especially when we come up against them.
That's what Bridgman's been saying for a while. Listen, G, I'll take it around the panel and I'll start with the Coop and see what Coop's thought is. How we doing, Coop? What's your thoughts, mate? What's on your mind, mate?
Well, I think to start with, Hawks, I think they put their own formation. I really do.
Maybe, mate.
I think we should have played 3 at the back, honestly. We all know how Celtic play. They play one man up top and they play with Forrester wide right. You know what I mean? So if we play 3 at the back, that should cover it. You're then pushing players into midfield. That's why we lost the game. We lost the game in midfield. We've got to flood that midfield. We really have, you know, because that's where they're strongest. You know, I just think that I'm not criticising Gerrard. Don't get me wrong. But I just think that on that occasion he got the formation totally wrong.
Listen, mate, it's an observation. It's not a criticism. I don't think there's many people going to argue me. I'll go back. I'll take both your points through the panel, Bridgman.
As far as the setup's concerned, I think the manager has came out and said, as far as I'm concerned, I was happy with what he said. He said he was happy with what it did in the first half. That was their game plan. Hold Celtic in and let them have as much of the ball as possible, probably. But I think he expected a wee bit more passing, as we were talking about just earlier on in the first half, particularly coming out. We never got that. And I think It'd have been wonderful if we had Koulibaly, because he's one of our tougher players, and if not our toughest. And we could do with 2 Koulibalys in our midfield, in my opinion. The bigger, the meaner, the better for me. And that's all I've got to say about it. I thought, if we had walked away with there with a draw, they couldn't have pulled me off. They had to scrape me off the ceiling, seriously. That's how good I felt about it. Second half, I thought we were a wee bit unlucky. I thought a couple of chances when we got through, particularly Tavernier, and his ball was going wide, well wide.
Can I come back in there, guys?
Of course, pal.
Well, see, I just can't handle this. Well, if this keeps on happening, that Lego muncher in their midfield, getting to score about the park as if he's Redondo. It's happening every old firm. He's getting too much time. And he's a decent player. I don't like saying that.
Once he get booked yesterday, Big G, for me, somebody should have went out and played against him.
Aye.
Once they get booked, somebody should have went right up and played against him and put him in trouble.
That's right.
Give your thoughts, mate, on what the lads are saying.
I totally agree with that in terms of playing up against Brown. As soon as he was booked, I thought Lafferty or Morelos would be straight on him and see if we could draw another foul and another booking. I was really, really surprised that he seemed to have the space that he did have for the rest of the game, and barely, we barely wouldn't need him for the rest of it. In terms of the midfield being a bit light, I think it probably is, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and we've had one transfer window to effectively overhaul not just a portion of this team, but overhaul our entire squad. And we're not going to get it perfect in a single transfer window. We have made massive changes to this squad, and I think there's been a huge improvement in the squad. But I think there's areas where we're a little bit light. I felt a midfield playmaker we still don't really have, and if Ajaria's not, I think Steven Gerrard expects Ajaria to do that, but if he's not on song, we've got nobody to replace him. And I think in certain areas, our squad has got the likes of maybe somebody like Andy Halliday or Ross McCrory coming in, who are squad players. I don't think they're going to make the team a better team when they come on the park. So Rome wasn't built in a day. I think there's still Steven Gerrard's in a 4-year contract. There was a lot of work I think still to do at Ibrox. We're not finished by any manner of means as of yet, but I think it's been a fantastic start for us. And one of the points that the guy made in terms of we haven't played well, I don't think we have really played well since the home tie against I think it was Maribor, but Steven Gerrard keeps on harping on every single interview he gets is that he wants time to start drilling the players, to get it into their head how he wants to play, because so far he's just telling them, it's just theory. He's not been able to spend any time with them on a training park actually drilling them in terms of what he wants to do. And he's not just said that once, he's said that a number of times. And I think, given the fact that the games have came thick and fast, we've had 10 games in the last calendar month. So we've not had time to do any drills. People are just resting up when they're not playing. If Steve Gerrard can get us drilled and start getting the players on the park that he wants to get on the park in terms of Koulibaly, etc. I think we'll get better, and we'll get and certainly far better than we played yesterday. That's for sure.
Really, Bear?
Well,
as far as the midfield goes, I've said it, and I'll say it ad nauseum until the problem gets fixed. You win and lose these games in the midfield. It's as simple as that for me. Yeah, regardless of what happens on your flanks, it's the midfield that truly matters in these games, and it always has been that way. But it's a good point that Cushy makes, though. He said one transfer window with an absolutely huge turnaround of players. We've got about, 24, 25 out the door. I think up to today we've brought about 15 in. Rome wasn't built in a day, as Cushy says. Well put, Cushy. This guy needs another transfer window, possibly another two, to bring in the players that's required to play to the standard that we want them to play to, and that's to compete with them. This team, he's brought in some good young players. He's brought in some cracking players at the back for me. He's brought McGregor in. He's brought Barisic in. these players are all a big improvement in what we had last season and the season before. But, you know, it takes more than one transfer window to build a squad. And I'm not just talking about the first 11. I'm talking about players on the bench that, when required, you can bring off the bench and they're going to affect a game. Andy Halliday's never going to affect a game. As much as I like me, Andy, he's never going to come on. Neither is McCrory. None of the two boys will come off the bench and affect the game for you. You know, they'll be pretty much a like for like whenever they do come onto the park. You know?
All right, Big G, on you come, mate.
Well, as you're saying there, I think your man there was a wee bit harsh on McCrory, but because I'm hoping McCrory does come on, does prove his all right and become a Rangers great. You know what I mean? But it's not looking like that now. But back to Sunday's game, Ajaria was deep in his feet. We all know that.
I agree.
And I'm just puzzled.
Yeah.
I'm just puzzled why he didn't pull him.
Do you know the thing I can think of?
Is it a Pals Act?
No, I don't think so. No, I
hope
think
not.
I hope not. The only thing I would think is he thought, we've not lost a goal, we're coming into it, and he's the guy that's got a spark because they kept their shape so well in the midfield, and that's the only reason I can think. I do agree with you. Aye, of course you can, mate. On you go.
The only reason he never pulled Ajaria, mate, he didn't think he had anybody else who could fit into that position and do the job Ajaria was doing. He didn't think Ross McCrory could do it, and he didn't think young Halliday could do it. As I said earlier in the show, the only person I thought, and we shouldn't have sent him out on loan, that could have done the job for guys was young Doherty. And I think he can do that as a fill-in, and I think he can do it against lesser teams like Motherwell, Hamilton, or others. Yeah, you know, the lesser clubs in the SPL, basically.
Come in, Alex. Yeah.
Wait a minute. On you go, Coop, mate.
Get back to Ajaria. I don't think yesterday's game was a game for Ajaria. I would have played McCrory yesterday because I know you're a big fan of Ajaria.
The last two games, up until the last two games, the jury was out for me.
Absolutely convinced. And as we talked about a second ago there, the boy's he's got great feet, the boy. He can't tackle. You know what I mean? He can't tackle. He's a worse tackle than Tavernier is, and that's saying something. I'd have played McCrory yesterday, I really would have. You know, I just think that type of game yesterday wasn't for the boy Ajaria. It just wasn't.
But see the boy at Ajaria, see the 2 or 3 previous games, he's been really good. So I'm not taking that away from him. He's been really good.
I just think yesterday's game just wasn't for him.
Maybe that's
it passed him, right? You know.
Maybe that's the thing that Stevie's got to learn. That's the hard thing, that when somebody's playing well, you take them out the team, you know. And that's the big calls. That's the big calls that managers learn to make.
Using the squad.
Can I come in, Alex?
On you go, Bridgman.
I have to agree with you when you said that the high probability, the manager felt that at some point or other, Ajaria is going to get himself up close to the box and be in a position to have a shot, because he's the only one that has got on form for scoring, and he's no, shall we say, backwards at coming forwards when it comes to that. The rest of them, it has to be we have to be stuck with either Lafferty or Morelos, and I'm afraid they just never cut it at all up in front of goal. They had a couple of wee snap chances, but that's all they had. So I think that's the reason why Ajaria was asked to stay on, or was expected to stay on. And I agree with everyone. His legs were probably gone. Getting to the last 20 minutes, he's probably feeling it pretty badly. But good, hats off to him. He played on well. I'm not got any complaints at all about our performances at the weekend there. I thought we were excellent. I thought we went to the Lions' Den and we came back nearly with a point. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Very positive.
You're a positive man. Anyway, lads, we've reached that time of the night. If you don't mind going on mute, Fox is going to give us a solo. Well, thanks for that, Fox. How are we all doing?
Back.
I'll be back.
I'm
My
here.
host, Big G for Hamilton, will be back on giving you a shuriken, Fox, or either that or throat it. A wee announcement for anybody that's listening. In the next part of Rangers Radio Meets the Fans, we have Stuart Daniels joining us on Wednesday, who's been involved with the Kinnan Park Loyal for over 40 years. Stuart's a well-known bear and a bit of a character, so I'm sure he's got a few tales to tell us about how difficult it is and the positives of running a supporters bus, so we look forward to that. He'll be on Wednesday evening. Right, Coop.
Yes.
We're disappointed, but are we moving in the right direction for you? You're a man that talks sense. I mean, apart from I'm looking at this panel here and I'm saying there's me and the Coop, Cushy, and then I'm struggling after that. Right, so...
No, I think we are moving in the right direction. I mean, you just need to look at compare it with this time last year. We're all down in the dumps after getting kicked out of Europe, you know what I mean? So we're on the up. I might sound a bit negative because I'm talking about the way they played yesterday, but I do think we're on the up. We really are. I mean, the players that he's brought in, as far as I'm concerned, are better than the ones that were there. I know that's no hard to do right enough. But I think we're definitely on the way. It's going to take time. I mean, I've only been together for 2 months or so. And that's going to take a while before things start kicking into place again. So I'm hopeful. I'm quite positive that they've all go in the right direction and eventually we'll get there, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the difference with that team, the team they were playing against together, that's basically a team they've been together a good few years now. No, most of them have. So you get a knowledge of play, a system of play. You might have to slot one player in. We had 6 guys making their all-firm debuts yesterday.
Yep.
You know, and then obviously Lafferty and McGregor they're still playing with guys, getting to know guys as well, even though McGregor's a vastly experienced goalkeeper and been excellent for us. He's still getting to know Big Boran, for instance. He's new into the team, so he's trying to help him out with his talking and that. So we're building, mate. I'm pleased. We're always going to overreact.
Of course.
To a defeat for them, you know, any kind of defeat.
I think we all want the same thing, Ox. We want to see the team do well. We all know that we're all the same. When you get beat, especially with that lot, it does hurt. Don't get me wrong, it does hurt. But we just go to keep on working away and see what happens.
Rudy Bear, I was like I usually are yesterday. I don't know, maybe show my emotions in that game on the show the way I do when I'm off the show, but in some respects I was more gutted last Sunday when we lost that goal in the last minute than I was with yesterday's performance because of the Thursday night circumstances.
That's right. I mean, as far as last week was concerned against Motherwell, it was a real body blow that, you know, coming back twice and then scoring the third goal to go ahead, and you're thinking, right, we just need to go and score another goal here and this game's finished. We couldn't manage it, and then they started, you know, big sort of bombers into the box, got the big guys up there, and they did a bit of scrapping, and it was a real body blow, you know, when the third one went in, because it felt, even though we got a point, it felt like a bit of a defeat. Yesterday was a bit different. I went through all the mitigating circumstances for me when I came on the show at the beginning of the night. You know, yesterday was different for me. Had we got a point for yesterday, let's say we had scored maybe in the last 15 minutes, 10 minutes,
and we could have done. We
could have done. And in all honesty, would have been delighted with that, considering the performance. But could we honestly have said that we deserved it? No, really. We didn't really. And in all honesty, nothing hurts like getting beat by them, regardless of whether it's where it's in their midden or whether it's your place, whether it's at Ibrox. It just hurts as bad. You know what I mean? Things will get better. He's not Steven Gerrard to this point in his Rangers career with these new players that he's brought in. He's not had. I think it was Cushy was touched on the point. He's not had time yet to actually work with the players properly. Spain was all about fitness. It was all about getting away and getting fit, pre-season getting fit. Comes back and it's been relentless. The games have been relentless, Thursday, Sundays, all the way through up until this point, So now he's going to have a bit of time to work with them properly, put the system in place properly and tell players exactly what's expected expected of them properly, you know.
Well, Shadow, you've been known to be honest criticism. Are we improving, like Coop says?
We've been talking about one game. You know, as everybody's what we've said about before, how the club's been moving forward, what a wonderful job Mr. Gerrard and his team have done. You know, how Mark Allen behind the scenes has been working his socks off and doing brilliant stuff. That all still stands. It's one game we're talking about.
Yeah, you're right.
And the players got it. The players worked their socks off. They tried really hard, but for me, I'm sorry, the manager got it wrong, and it will happen. Any walk of life, you get things wrong. All I think, as long as he learns from that and moves forward, I've no complaints. And there's a couple other questions that I raised during the night, but that's just it. It's questions. I don't know if they're answers. I don't know the answers. Only Stephen Gerrard and his team know the answers to those questions. And it's up to other people to draw their own conclusions to that as well.
Cushy?
Yeah, I think in terms of the manager getting it wrong, I think he went with the European formation, if you like, or the European ways played away from home, and he felt that would probably get him through that game on Thursday. It didn't work that way. The manager himself, I think, will have learned by looking at Celtic and seeing how they play and see how they raise a game against us in these particular fixtures. That is not the way to go about the business against them and just sit back and soak in pressure and hope for the best. So, you know, it's an old cliche, but everybody at our club is in a learning curve at the moment. And, you know, we just have to learn quickly. But up till now, it's been 9 out of 10 from everything that we've done, you know, and let's not detract from the fact simply because we turned in a poor performance on Thursday.
All right, Bridgerman.
Yeah, there's not much else you can say what the boys have said. How can I say this? I'm still very happy with where we are, and the boys said that it's from the start of the season or from the start of the close season. It's only been a very short period, and here we are with a brand new team, and we've got our main opposition that struggled to put the ball in the net against us, and they thought that goal they scored was that great. They done a lap of honour in their own midden. And it's just incredible. It's just utterly incredible that they egg us on. So I've said this before. I think hopefully through time, the people who are playing for us and wearing the jersey for us need to understand the amount of hatred there is against our club at all levels, and the amount that hatred makes other teams lift up, and they'll lift themselves up so high, as we know. And maybe you might see Celtic might not perform like that again until they play us again, right? And the same in Motherwell. They might not play like they did until they come up against us again. So these things, we need to lift their game that step up. We need to do that step up. And we need to fight. At every position, we all need to fight. Might not have the bodies to be able to do that at the moment, but we'll get them.
Fox, in you come, mate. Use your thoughts, like Coop was saying.
Well, I don't want to be negative, but I think the boys rightly said earlier on that we spent the short bit of the pre-season on getting fit. And we must have looked forward, mate, and knowing we had this break coming up, the international break. The one thing I think we've done wrong is we're changing our tactics. One tactics would probably have done us and get the boys used to learning it. But what's happening, we started to change it against Celtic for me, mate. Playing the two up front, people were out of position sometimes, didn't know where they were supposed to be for me. And if you'd have stuck with the one tactic, the boys would have known exactly what they were going to do, and I think that would have helped us. I do think after the international break, when he gets the chance to maybe get that fortnight to play on the playing side away from the fitness, we'll see a much improved side after the break, mate.
It's a good point, that, by the way, Oxchair. That's a good point.
I mean, obviously, you can make stats mean anything you want, and people have said that it's my worst starting, I think, 20-odd year, 94 or something like that. can't remember. I read it yesterday.
Oh,
But we played 3 games away from home.
that's
We were
right.
robbed at Aberdeen, which would have made it a more positive start. Obviously, it was a sickener against Motherwell, but I don't want to say we were robbed because, if we're being really honest, we learned a lesson there as well because we were hanging on a bit for the last 15 minutes, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But there's been even the St Mirren game, we were playing really well. The football was good. We got the goals, and then we made a mistake, and McCrory got sent off when we just seen the game out. Oh, by the way, I send Bridges' commiserations to Alan Stubbs. We don't like to see anybody lose their job. Anyway.
Bridgman's so fucking happy.
Bridgman, you're lying. But we're the peace coop. We know where we are. We know what's happening. We know the improvement. We're getting players in. We're going to talk about, obviously, Gareth McCauley tomorrow night because we knew the night with Derby, but the game and also the tickets prices have come out. I don't know if people have seen that. The tickets have come out for the 3 games. £105 for the package,
That's right.
£72 for the concessions, and £48 for me, the juniors. So they'd all come out, and obviously we'll talk about that tomorrow night, the package and all that. But we'll also talk about Gareth McCauley because the night's always going to be about the Old Firm game and our reaction to it. But Coop, we've got players that we've seen that even yesterday, our 2 centre halves and our goalkeeper were as good as anything on the park.
Certainly were. You can't. I don't think we can really fault the keeper and the 2 centre halves. And to be fair to the rest of the players, I mean, they were apart from it, I hate going back to the young boy Ajay again. I thought he had a very quiet game. But I thought the rest of the team done it all right under the circumstances. It wasn't good enough. If you get what I'm trying to say here, they done probably what they were told to do. They tried to do what they were told to do. Just couldn't manage it, and I think that goes back to the way they set the team up yesterday. As I said earlier on at the very start, I just think when you play against them, I think you've got to just flood that midfield because that's where all their strength is. I mean, Rogic and the boy, the coloured chap, forget his name now.
Mitchell.
And Sham, aye. I think they're 2 excellent. I hate to say it, but they're 2 excellent players. They really are. They know the game inside out. I mean, that goal they scored yesterday. I think you can debate the foul. I think it was a foul, but at the end of the day, he ran nearly off the park to get to set the goal up. That's where we should have stopped that right away. We never. When they got to the 18-yard line, I mean, you could see the boy Ajaria pointing to somebody, pick up and sham. But he never done it himself. He just stood there. You know what I mean? You can
that's when the time everybody knew his legs went.
Yeah, well, possibly. But
the thing about Tavernier, I think Tavernier had been running by Arfield when Arfield put the ball in for the right. So Tavernier's away up at the outside left position.
I know.
Yeah, sorry, the outside right position,
Yes,
and that's Tav's game, unfortunately. But look, are you happy the way things are going, Coop?
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely happy the way, as I said earlier on. I'm happy the way things are starting to shape out. I think this next run of games we've got coming up, that'll tell us a lot. You've got a couple of home games coming in there as well. And also you've got Livingston as well coming up. So I think there's a wee run of games there we can maybe string a few points together.
In my opinion, mate, yesterday, before we start talking, we've got to take 9 out of 9, mate. If buts or maybes any less than 9 out of 9,
yep,
people will start looking and saying, wait a minute.
I totally agree with you, yeah.
Bridgeman. Oh.
I'm here, pal. Sorry, I'm here. I was you're doing the usual, What can I say? I got carried away there. Sorry, what was the point again, bud?
How we're slowly progressing, and we're centre halves and our goalkeeper. They played well yesterday.
I think it was Kushik was speaking there. Look, the press, the media, you name it, social media, all the rest of it. Our centre halves will hardly be mentioned, but you'll find that big fella who was in the bad books 2 weeks ago was the best centre-half in the whole world again yesterday. That's what they'll say. Personally speaking, there was only one pair of centre-halves that were doing anything at all in a game yesterday, and that was ours, and have been for the last 6 or 7 games. They're absolutely outstanding. Best centre-halves in the country by a mile. By a mile.
Cushy, the talk about Morelos and obviously the sending off, there wasn't an edge to his game yesterday. Did that affect him for you?
He didn't have a good game. It tries to. I think sometimes Morelos just tries to use his physicality just a little bit too much. So he's always trying to kind of get in front of players and try to turn them, and use his physicality in that way. And I think he just does it a little bit too much. And both Lafferty and Morelos were starved of any kind of decent service. And after a while, that must just be. It must just tell on you, because when you've only seen the ball every so often, and you're expected to work wonders with what is typically balls at chest height and things like that, when they've got to bring it down, do something wonderful, or try and bring somebody else into the play. It doesn't. It wasn't working. I don't think it lacked an edge as such. I don't think there's very much will take any edge off Morelos' general game. I just think the service that we were giving him, because we were paid back so much, just told on both him and Lafferty, to be honest with you. So poor games. I think Morelos, first and foremost, for me, has to find a little bit of nuance to his forward play. He's a big physical boy, but particularly in his finishing, a typical Morelos finish is hammering the ball as hard as he possibly can at the keeper. And I think he needs to find just a little bit more quality in some of these situations, and maybe look to start stroking it into the corners and things like that, to see if you can find that. Because if I was a keeper and Morelos is coming straight at me, I would just stand my ground and waiting the ball hitting me. So I think he has to find a little bit more in terms of his finishing prowess, and just a little bit more about his general game. But I don't think anything will take the edge off him at all. I think with one of the boys touched on here, a 6,000 mile round trip. Notwithstanding the fact that Morelos didn't actually play in a lot of the game, it's still a huge amount of travel. And unfortunately, I think he's going to America as well, an international call-up, because he's been called up to the Colombian squad as well.
Team,
so both their games, fortunately, both their games I think are in the east coast of America, but he's still got a bit of travelling to do. But hopefully he can get rested up, because I think given the sheer scale amount of games that were played, I think the entire squad just needs a little bit of a breather at the moment, just to find their legs again.
Are you talking about particularly yesterday when he done great play and he cut inside and Moran getting up their seat, ready to get their seat, and he gets about 10 yards for goal, and he hits it well enough, mate, but if
he hits it well enough, but
he'd have been trying to bend it in, yeah.
Yeah, I think we see that a lot from Morelos. He just smacks the ball as hard as he possibly can. If he tries to sometimes, and it doesn't come off. A little bit more, maybe a little bit more quality in finishes. A little bit more, mixing it up a little in terms of how he finishes would help him. And I'm hoping Stephen Gerrard maybe tries to start getting him practicing some of this stuff. Because he's not going to pass it in those positions. He's just not that type of player. So he's never going to look up. In those positions, and I seen Arfield was running in with nobody near him, but I don't see Morelos as that type of player. But if he is going to go for goal, he needs to find a little bit more quality, a little bit of nuance to his finishing, rather than just walloping the ball as hard as he possibly can.
Fridge, what do you think?
Somebody drop out there?
Aye, Ox.
Okay, right, okay. Well, I think Morelos, as we know, because you're quite right there, when you see him, sometimes he does just thrash the ball as much as he can, and sometimes you wish he did it better, particularly if he's through one-on-one. He went through a whole string of games where he couldn't put the ball away at all. But I quite like Morelos, to be honest, and I think I think him and Big Lafferty weren't very good on Saturday, because there was about a 35 to 40 yard gap between the midfield and them most of the game, at least.
Bridge, can I ask you something? Do you not
Yes,
think it was a mistake going with the two forwards yesterday?
Well, obviously, like, hindsight's a great thing, and yes, he could have done something different. He could have went with just Lafferty and left Morelos out to see how Lafferty did. But I think the plan was to put as much pressure on as possible. I just think it didn't work because our midfield was quite poor, to be honest. Now, that may have been bad selection, maybe a bad plan, but I think at the end of the day, I'm putting my trust in our manager, and I was delighted to get to half-time not losing a goal, and I thought we could turn the table on them in the second half, as we've done in the past, and let's go out there and do it.
Did you think we were playing with two up front, Rudy?
Aye, well, I think that was... I
never seen that, mate. I seen Lafferty was to help out on the left, and when he could, he was to get up beside Morelos when it was in the air.
Aye, what I was going to say was, it's been noticeable to me this season, see when we've kind of moved away from this 4-5-1, and whatever you think of Lafferty, I don't think Lafferty can play in that system, you know. That's just my personal opinion. But it's been noticeable to me that when we've tried to, you know, like Motherwell, we tried to play the 3-5-2 against Motherwell, you know, and as much as we scored 3 goals, we also let 3 in. You know, I think our defence that day had a nightmare. And I think that was possibly, for what I can remember, the first time we played in that system. But it's noticeable to me that when we get out of that 4-5-1, we don't click. It doesn't seem to work, you know. And is that because Steven Gerrard's not had time on the coaching field with the boys, you know? He's not had time to coach them properly. It possibly could be because there won't be much coaching going on, I wouldn't imagine, because of the amount of football that we're playing. But you see, hindsight, aye, it's a great thing. But I said during the week, I said the other day there, or whenever it was, I would have just went with Morelos up front and I had 5 in the midfield, the usual 4 at the back, and I'd have had Laff sitting on the bench because I thought he'd be a good option to bring on for the last 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, you know, if you're looking for a goal. You know, fresh pair of legs, bring him off the bench. So I don't know, I just don't think...
Can I answer that?
Aye, on you go, Bridge, man.
Oh, no, I was just going to say today, Oxlade brought up a good point about Candace. Candace has got a tremendous, shall we say, formed a great partnership with the Tavernier on the right. Yeah. Maybe hindsight says maybe we should have went with that because Tavernier had quite a poor game. His outball person wasn't there, and the wee bit magic that they can pluck up together just couldn't have happened with Kent out there. So I'm nothing against anybody. It's an observation. With hindsight, what Oxlade's saying is maybe he thought I never picked Candace. I thought Candace wouldn't have played very well against them, and it may in fact have been like that. However, Oxlade's good point. Maybe it would be even better to play Candace and give Tavernier an outball because his defence was very poor again. And sometimes when you're struggling like that, you're looking for that wee bit of assistance, and Candace seemed to do that. They seem to help each other.
I was actually surprised that Candace wasn't in the starting 11, to be honest. I said that in the pre-match show yesterday. I was quite surprised, Bridge, that Candace wasn't in the starter, because I would have certainly started him, because I think the partnership that him and Tav have got on that right side, and I've noticed that when Candace is not there, Tav doesn't seem to do it when Candace is not there. Candace puts in a hell of a shift on that side of the park for me. Gets back, helps Tav out, and between the two of them, their interplay sometimes is really good. You know, they set each other off up that side of the park. So I would have started with Candace yesterday.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well, because I think of all the people that I've seen playing against Celtic, Candace is the one that for me Tierney is a bit wary of, because Candace always seems to push him back and have him a little bit in the back foot.
That's right.
So I was in 3 out of the 4 games I reckon last year. Candace, I thought, had Tierney in his pocket, and I was a bit surprised. It brings us to another point though. With the only issue I've got with Steven Gerrard at the moment is he does really, really like Ryan Kent, and I've not seen it, mate. I've not seen it. Where the boy does an awful lot of work and he's got a lot of pace. I've not seen anywhere near the end product from Kent that we see from the likes of Candace. And Candace does plenty of work as well. You know, he might not quite have the pace as Kent, but he certainly puts in a shift in front of Tav when he's playing. You know, but there's a far more of an end product for Daniel Candeias than ever that what we've seen from Ryan Kent so far. And I'm a little bit. I've got a little bit of an issue at the moment with the way that Gerrard is moving Kent about to fit him into certain positions over players that I think should be playing in those positions at the moment. And that's my only, you call it a criticism if you want, an observation of Gerrard and the way he's picking his team. There's just a little bit too much of Ryan Kent for my liking.
Kent was one of the heroes on Thursday night. The way the boy worked, and he ran his socks off, and he took us up the park where he's running. But the games we've seen him, mate, his final ball's been, it's been missing. Blue Shadow, you were what came in there, mate?
I mean, why did we change the system and then address both wingers and then no play them? That just doesn't make any sense to me at all either. You know, to being fair. I'd have played Candeias, and as you know, I'd have played Kent, and then we could have and then everybody knows, as Fox pointed out earlier on, everybody knows what they're doing. They've played the system infinite amount of time, you know, well, not infinite, but certainly 13 times before almost. And then they could put pressure. I reckon they'd ended up putting pressure on the back three, and they wouldn't have had the immense amount of time that they did. I mean, he had time to pick that crossfield ball out to their left-hand side at least half a dozen times in the first half. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I would agree with the rest of the lads there with regards to Candeias. When you go to places like Parkhead and you've got basically nearly a brand new team, you want players who have been there before, who are tried and tested. Not only that, Candeias, as you said earlier on, puts a hell of a work in. So he never stops, you know. And Rudy was right when he says when he doesn't play, Tavernier doesn't play either. I'm not a big fan of Tavernier to start with in the first place, but he's right in what he said about Candeias. When he's not there, Tav's it's a waste of space as far as I'm concerned. So I think you should have started Candeias, because you want somebody who's been there before, tried and tested, does it for most of the season. But as I say, hindsight, as you say, as Bridge said earlier on, hindsight's wonderful. You see what happens, you know. But I still think you should have started them.
Here.
Mrs. Bridge keeps telling Mr. Bridge that hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. If onlys. The if onlys. See you know.
Do you think that we went there, Oaks, not to concede?
I think the game plan was particularly keep it for the first half an hour. But I think the reason we couldn't get up the park to score the goal, arguably in the first half an hour, I can't remember the exact timings, but arguably we'd one of the better chances up to then when Ryan Jack, the ball fell from the edge of the box, and it wasn't the greatest efforts. He never hit the target. Yeah. I think the idea was to make sure we kept our shape, and we didn't concede in the first half an hour, and if we kept the ball, we would come into the game. The reason we fell out the game was shape was important, personnel was also important, but it was our passing. It put us under pressure because we couldn't keep the ball. And when we started passing the ball in the second, like the last 20 minutes, we passed the ball all right. I mean, we looked I'm not saying we looked a great team, but we looked okay. You know, I think the idea was keep it tight, Fox, which obviously you're hoping not to lose a goal.
Well, I've got to agree with the boys. In fact, I mean, if we'd have stuck to his 4-3-3 or 4-5-1 when we're defending, mate, Candeias and Tavernier would have been on one side for me, and Flanagan and Barisic on the other side. And I think what was happening on Sunday was Arfield was pulled for the outside the middle and one side, and Ajaria was pulled the other way to try and cover for the fullbacks. And I just think that if we'd have went there just to try and stop them from scoring and hope to hit in the counter-attack, Barisic with his crossing and Candeias with his pace and crossing on the other side would have been better players to sit in their positions for me.
Yeah. No, and I'm not saying that if in yesterday's performance I wouldn't have played the Lafferty, but up until the game started I would have done. Because there's pluses for his height and his power in the attack, and also in our box defending set pieces, which that team they play for. They play for corner kicks. in free kicks, you know, or they try and dive for the halfway line to get penalty kicks and they don't get touched. Cushy.
I wouldn't. I think we said it on was it Thursday night. I wouldn't have started Lafferty on Sunday. I felt we should have stuck to the formation that's kind of seen us through, if you like. I can see why he started Lafferty, right? Because let's be honest, the guy's never stopped scoring against Celtic last year, right? So you know, if you're looking for someone to get a goal or sneak a goal, then I could see the point of putting him in. But I just felt as if in the Motherwell game and in this game we've kind of shoehorned Lafferty in a little bit, and it's taken a little bit of the edge, I think, off the formation that we're actually used to. And that being said, Lafferty's obviously scored a couple against Motherwell, but I still feel as if we've just tinkered in the last couple of games when we've not really needed to.
Yeah.
I'd have much rather seen us just stick to the formation that we'd had previously and had Morelos up. I would have had started Kent I'd have started Kent on the left where he's used to it in front of Barisic, and Candace on the right, and then see if we could get those boys a bit further up the park and get Tierney in the back foot, because for all the work rate that Kent put in, Tierney still seemed to have an awful lot of room down that left in the first half, so something wasn't working there. But you know, fishes are fishes. You know,
I've not seen it with Kent, mate. He's no floated my boat personally. I don't know how
It's still have been better than Lafferty.
Yeah, there's just no final ball from him. But I still think on the left, if you're trying to contain them, the boy is in fairness to him, he's a workaholic. You know, so I would have certainly started him on the left and Candace on the right. You know, and it may give us a bit more width, and potentially allow Barisic to maybe just overlap a couple of times and get further up the park. You know, but I just think that would have been better, and it wouldn't. As I say, I just feel as if I've shoehorned Lafferty in a little bit into a team that kind of was ticking along quite nicely, and it's just disrupted it a little bit, I think. You know, and I think we could have left it thinking after the international break.
You know,
I think as far as Kent's concerned, Ox, I would tend to agree with you. You know, his final ball is something that the boys got to work on, you know, because there hasn't been much, you know, he's not having much success with his final ball. But what he has got is blistering pace, and he knows how to go by players, right? So that's his positives. How did we not sign Usain Bolt then?
How did we not sign you, Ox?
No. My blistering pace days are over, mate.
So, for me, on that left side, in front of Barisic, who's got pace as well, I think even if you've just got the pace there, you know, it causes problems. Because you can't tell me Lustig's one of the greatest players you've ever seen. He's a donkey, that boy, in my opinion. He truly is. So, for me, I would have went with the pace on the left-hand side of the park there. I would have played Kent simply because of his pace. He knows how to get by players. And it will cause problems. We've already seen that. He's already done it. He's caused problems. Maybe not with his final ball, but with the fact that he's got the pace to carry the ball up the park quickly. And that's why I would have had him there playing on the left in front of Barisic.
He also creates space for Barisic as well, doesn't he, Rudy?
Yeah, he does. He certainly does that. I've noticed that in previous games.
This is only my opinion, and it doesn't count for a lot. I'll go to Coop with this. The boys get pace. There's no doubt in that. The boys get a bit of ability running with the ball. He's not been able to pass the ball. He's not crossed the ball. He's not created, and he's shooting. He's not showing anything great in the shooting department. But he is very, very young. On you go, Coop.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there. He is. I'm still not sure what his position is, to be honest with you. I really don't know. I'm not sure. Yes, he's got blistering pace. But I'll see a lot of times when he starts his runs, he doesn't take the ball with him a lot of times, you know what I mean? The ball seems to fall under his feet, and he ends up having to go back to pick up the ball again. But I think what we have to remember is, I think as the months go on, we might see him less and less, because we need to remember, we've got a new winger coming in. We've paid £2 million for a new winger. You're not going to leave him sitting on the bench.
No.
So I think Kent might struggle to get a game in the future, I really do.
You know, what's for new winger called, Coop?
Very good question, that, Ox.
Eros Greza. Keros Greza.
I never done my homework right before I come on, so. But I just think Kent got less games now. I really do.
But it's not a slight on the boy, mate. It's just a review of what we've seen, you know.
At all.
I mean, he was one of the heroes on Thursday night. The running he done and the closing down and running with the ball.
And they nearly scored an absolute belter on Thursday night just after the break. You know, that run he done and then they cut inside. How that keeper got his hand to that ball, I'll never know.
Deflected and it hit. A deflection and hit us.
Can I come in, Oxford?
On you go, mate.
Just to say that, like, we had 4 midfielders in the game yesterday, you know, and 2 forwards. And the truth of the matter is, none of the 6 of them actually covered themselves in glory, to be honest. So we never had a midfield that worked properly, neither defensively or attack-minded, and our 2 forwards seemed stranded. And Lafferty ended up coming back to the left-back position sometimes, covering back.
And maybe that's the problem with Thursday night took its toll up. I don't mean this. I mean, you were one of the guys that stood at the back and just stood there and never played football. Just kept your shape right. All the other people in front of you have to do all the work and do all the thinking and all that. They guys, they were playing at the 18-yard box, weren't they moving? The other guys in front of them were doing all the running, and maybe that caught up with them on Sunday. Coop.
Sorry, X, I was listening there. Sorry.
All right, well, I'll go back to Bridge. You know what I mean?
Was eating a marshmallow there? Sorry.
What was meaning was that you saw Lafferty having to come back and help out in defensive and so on and so forth, which follows on to what you were talking about. When Ryan Kent has played out in the left wing, he's an assist to the fullback, the wing back that runs up, a massive assist. They're outballing necessary, and they can build attacks for there. Much like we were speaking about Candias and Tavernier. We didn't have them. The manager never picked them. We picked a 4-4-2, straight 4-4-2. And one of the boys mentioned earlier, I'm sure I heard them saying we could even have went with a 3-5-2 against Celtic and then use a 5-3-2, 3-5-2, if you follow what I mean. And it might have been different. I don't know. But at the end of the day, we've got beat 1-0. And I'm quite happy. Not happy that we got beat, but happy we've come away from there, only losing 1 goal. And we could have sneaked it. We had a couple of chances ourselves.
You would have said 2-3-5 were you there, Bridges? We didn't say half-backs anymore, you know.
No. What I said was 3-5-2 or 5-3-2.
Ah, right.
You know what I mean? So you can swap them up and down, you know. That's all. I'm not doing it. Yeah, the old W formation. Yeah, I remember it well.
You're bringing in Harold Davis next, Bridges.
Oh, wait, I'll tell you what, if I could bring Harold Davis in and Roger Hine, they would do for me in our midfield. I'll tell you
what, Harold Davis when he left Scott Brown.
Oh no, he'd be the first.
Scott Brown.
Can I ask you a question on the boys? And you could just tell me what they think it. When Mr. When Mr. McGregor not lashed out, but he stamped on the boy. He kicked him in the bum, and because he had kicked him. And that's sometimes that's the way you play football. You get if somebody whacks you whack him back behind the referee, and that's it. Oh. And nobody says anything. Just go on with it, you know.
If you don't mind, can I take this first, and then I'll go down the panel?
Yes, please.
Obviously, Alan McGregor was just trying to get his footing, and his foot slid backwards. That's the way I seen it. Total accident, totally unintentional. Rudy Bear?
Aye, it's fine by me. In fact, I'd have preferred it had I made much more contact with him, to be honest.
Blue Shadow.
I think Mr. McGregor must have had the wrong studs, and it was quite clearly slipped there for me.
Coop.
I think you're right. I don't know if you know or not, but is the boy is it Ajeri's name is Ajer, what his name is? When he made the tackle to go for the ball, his knee actually caught McGregor in the ribs.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why maybe McGregor's boot slipped a wee bit. You know what I mean?
We're going to have to look at the blades. You're our blades expert, Rich.
Aye, absolutely. I'm sorry, that slipped out there. Sorry, boys. I was taking myself back for years there. No, I was just going to say that you know that stamp with the sole of the foot. That's exactly what happened to Ryan Jack against that Motherwell keepery boy. That's exactly what he did to him. He leant his foot back and his leg back, and he just racked him with the boot and cracked him on the knee. And to me, it's a very dangerous thing. But just a couple of weeks ago, I saw Naismith doing it against who was it? It was against the Celtic boy, that boy Hayes, who barged him and he booted him, stood on him. Similar. So it goes on. It goes on in football.
Cushy, how did you see it, mate? Obviously, the studs weren't they right?
I'm sure Alan's foot slipped, but personally, the more nasty, vindictive, horrible players that we have in that Rangers team, the happier I'll be.
But the reason I'm asking is because it's not that it's trial by television at the moment. There's a big push on from our TV and media to say that the shall we say, what do you call them, the compliance officer should look at that.
Oh, they're all at it, Bridge. They're all at it. It's been on the papers and everything.
Is that right?
But they completely missed Brown kicking the Hamilton player in the head when he's lying on the ground, that kind of thing, Like, it's to be expected. It's what's going to happen. Every time there's anything that could be construed as a wee bit of a dodgy incident that involves a Rangers player, this is going to happen. All the way through the season, you're going to see this, So I'm not really surprised, Bridge, to be honest.
Certain players are more... Certain rags, I don't even call them papers, are more interested in fans picking their nose and talking about football. It's bloody ridiculous.
I don't know if any of you saw Sky Sports today. They do a wee bit where they have a referee who discusses all the incidents over the weekend on both sides of the border. So obviously they highlighted the Rangers and Celtic game yesterday. And apparently it was that guy, Dermot Gallagher, that was on, ex-referee. He was saying that McGregor should have been sent off. The Roderick and Jack situation, Jack fouled him initially. And the free kick, the boy dived, that should have been a penalty kick. But what does that tell you?
Bloody hell.
I know what Dermot's allegiances lie, but we'll move on to that one. You're spot on with your thinking, mate. You're spot on with your thinking. Cushy, did yesterday show you that our squad we're getting there, but we're still a wee bit thin?
I think we've strengthened in every area, but I think we've strengthened more than some areas than others. The centre of defence now speaks for itself. I think certainly down the left with Barisic we're getting better, and I definitely think Kyle Lafferty has been a good signing for us. And I think we've yet to really see Koulibaly get a really good run of games and really get up to speed, and I'm really looking forward to that boy, to see him when he comes up and he gets a dozen games under his belt, because I think he'll be absolutely brilliant and a real fan's favourite. I've said it in the middle of August. We are light in creative midfielders, and that I think that's an area that we have to start looking at either in January or next summer's window.
Can I just say that I was reading the snippet there. Koulibaly was abused at Glasgow Airport.
I believe so. And Frankie and Benny's, mate, he was having something to eat and ushered away, and one of them came right up to his face. That was what I understood. But you take your lead for the club, mate. You take your fans take the lead for the club.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, apparently the police were called anyway and they got arrested, so I don't know what happened to them. They'll probably be swept under the carpet with the rest of the crap.
Right. There was a few incidents happened yesterday, mate, that you've not seen a lot about in the media. Any views on that, Blue Shadow, the squad, mate? I know you're all for promoting youth and you like the youth to be given a chance, but we're a wee bit thin, maybe in midfield, creative, maybe centre forward.
It's only been it's only one transfer window. We've you can't do everything.
Fair comment, mate.
Everything in one transfer window, and I think that perhaps I can understand why they wanted to get people out the door, but I think perhaps they've gone a little bit too far at times with leaving themselves thin. Where where if you lose one player, you've got. Particularly, I don't want to come to it and repeat the same thing again. But if you've not got a centre forward to replace the ones you've got on the pitch that you can put on the bench, I think you've gone too far, and that's I think that's something they should have looked at. Now, what you can do about it, I don't think there anything is, because you've got contracts. So it's something we're going to have to live with. And thankfully, we've got these 2 weeks. And all I can do is hope is both Dorrans and Koulibaly are fit to come back. And I think we can rely on Koulibaly to hit the ground running. And hopefully Dorrans can do the same.
I hope so, mate. I hope so, because competition for places is a good thing, Rudy.
It's
Nobody
important.
should walk in.
No, absolutely. I mean, we saw in the last season or two, possibly the last couple of seasons, we saw players that should never have had that blue jersey on playing there simply because there wasn't any competition. Competition for places is important, you know. Not only is it important for the player that's in the jersey at the moment, you know, he's got somebody breathing down his neck, you know, and you want him to think, if I'm not up to it every week, this guy's got to take my jersey, right? So that's why it's important. But it's important, you know, for a bench. As I keep saying, it's important to have players in your bench that you can bring off the bench that's going to affect the game. You know, if there's 20, 30 minutes to go, you're looking for a goal, you know, whatever the case might be, it's important you've got the players on the bench. The turnaround that's happened at the club so far, you know, it's in the summer there, you know, up until the window closed, it's massive. It's absolutely massive. They had a huge amount of work today between Steven Gerrard and Mark Allen. You know, they've done great so far. You know, they've certainly improved the team. They've brought better players in. They've got rid of a lot of the dead wood that we had. This, as far as building a squad goes, you can't do all that, Ox, in just one transfer window. It's going to take 2, possibly 3 transfer windows to get the quality squad that you need to get through a long, hard season in Scotland.
That's a great point, Rudy. Just a one transfer, just a few weeks, Coop. We've got to cool our jets and think it's only a few weeks since the manager walked in the door.
Yeah, exactly. I think as far as this transfer window goes, I think we've done really, really well. But I think a wee bit greedy. I'd like another forward coming in. I think we're actually okay all year, like midfield and defensively. I think we're okay. We've nearly got 2 players for every position, which is great, which is really good. And 2, I would say, it's not just 2 players, they're players that are okay. They're a lot better than what we've had in the past. Everybody that brings in will be able to do a job with you, for you. So I think, as I say, I'm greedy. I'd like maybe another centre forward coming in. But what we've got, I'm quite happy with, and hopefully, see when we get these guys can come back for injuries, that hopefully we'll be moving forward and getting what we want to get.
Yep, Bridgeman.
I think. Sorry, go on in. Please,
sorry. We need to sort out something over that Sadiq, though, don't we? I don't know what.
He's scored a couple of games for the reserves, and then it's went quiet again. You know.
That seems to be the one signing of Mr. Gerrard that hasn't quite seemed to bear fruit yet.
Can I say... Sorry.
Can I just see you've got a last-minute caller there, mate, so...
Well, I'll take if you don't mind, Bridge, I'll take the caller.
Go for it.
How we doing, caller?
I'm alright, guys. Yourself?
Alright, mate. What did we call you, mate? I see your name, but I don't know if that's what you want to be called.
I just did it.
Robbie, yeah?
Aye, that'll do.
Alright, okay. What's on your mind, Robbie?
You were talking about the backup striker, you know, replacing the dead wood.
Aye, go on then.
Jason Cummins is scoring for fun in League One.
He's having a good season with Peterborough. He's having I noticed that, aye.
I think he would have been an ideal replacement to bring in. You know, he was at the club in January, he knows what it's about.
That accent, that sounds a wee bit like Jesus' accent. I've got my own thoughts on Jason. I'd have loved it for him to work at Ibrox. He looked a wee bit light when he played for us, but maybe the most natural finisher we had at the club. Bridgeman?
Certainly can't disagree with that. I thought the boy had Gallus, and I thought that he would be a big success for us. But I think after watching him 2 or 3 times coming on and playing for us, you could see he wasn't fit, not match fit anyway. But certainly got Gallus, and I loved he scored a lovely goal against Ayr United. Sort of a semi-overhead kick, you know, just brilliant. Brilliant goal. I'd loved him to have success. I think everybody that likes Rangers would have liked him to succeed, because he's just the type of a guy that could spark us from a crowd perspective, get the crowds off their seat. Excellent player, but it wasn't to be, I'm afraid. But I think the boy, what's his name, Robbie? Robbie, you're saying that we should go and sign him again?
Well, he's at Peterborough now, and that's a season loan, so you're going to be waiting a while for that.
He's scoring a lot of goals, mate. I see he's scoring a lot of goals.
Brown gets booked on Sunday. You need a wind-up merchant to take on a wind-up merchant. Cummins is your man.
Yep.
Can I just jump in there, Ox? I agree with Robbie 100%. Boy had swagger written all over him. He's one of the most natural goal scorers I've ever seen, to be honest with you. If you're wanting somebody to pull something out the bag a wee bit different, he'd have been the man to do it. I don't think he got a fair crack of the whip when he was here. I would like to have seen much more of him. I know some of the Bears weren't that keen on him, but for me, he wasn't 100% match fit. I think if we'd have got him match fit, I think you would have seen his true value. I would certainly have kept him.
Can I come in?
On you go.
I think with Jason Cummings is a predator. He's the finisher. He's the one that I think he needs to be played in a 2 though. And would Jason Cummings fit in with Mr. Gerrard's model of
that's a great
team?
Point.
I don't think he would. I don't think he's got enough of the complete footballer about him. And I don't know what other people think.
I mean, there's a difference.
On you go.
Yeah.
On you go, Robbie.
I think
let Robbie come in and then we'll go to you, Cushy. On you go, Robbie.
There's a difference between being a good footballer and a goal scorer.
Chris Boyd. There you go.
Could they score against Celtic though for Rangers?
No, I know. But he certainly knew where the net was, Robbie. You know what I mean? Wasn't he a great footballer? But the difference between Cummins, I think Cummins is a footballer. I just don't think he had a fair chance up here.
All right. Cushy, in you come and then we'll come back to you, Robbie. On you go, Cushy.
I thought when they played with Hibs, I thought Cummins looked absolutely superb. When he came to Rangers though, in a Rangers jersey, I thought he looked a little bit slow and cumbersome. And that may well be because he just wasn't getting enough games under his belt or whatever, I don't know. But I just felt he just looked a bit off the pace any time he was in a Rangers jersey. And I wasn't I was unhappy that he hadn't made it, but I wasn't particularly vexed that we let him go at the end of it and didn't make it permanent, because I didn't see enough of him while he was in a Rangers jersey to think, yes, we need to keep that boy.
He is saying, and I've got a good thing still about us in the press, Robbie.
Aye, there was that thing, the article the other day, that there was a divide in the dressing room when he was there. That's potentially one of the reasons, why he's not getting the game time that he got.
I don't think it's take a genius to work out there was problems in the dressing room for Christmas onwards in our dressing room last season. I mean, it culminated in that semi-final.
Cummings I'm not sure of, but what I would have liked to have done maybe is take him on another year's loan and see how he would, under a whole season, see how he performed after being there for a whole season.
Yeah.
That might have been a way of getting him in, and see what he does.
That's a fair comment. I think the hard thing, Robbie, that Steven Gerrard's got to do is he's had to make dozens and dozens of calls, who we keep, who we don't keep. Maybe felt that everybody that was there last year within reason, because they nearly all went.
Can I just make a point? One of the boys pointed out earlier on that we've moved on an awful lot of players, and I think Gerrard has had to do so much that he's maybe got a couple of them wrong. I think it was Bush Shadow was talking about who's the boy was saying from Hamilton? Greg Docherty, the very one, him. But in terms of up front, maybe Cummings. I see we've signed today a 38-year-old defender, and I'm thinking, would Bates not have just done the same job as a 38-year-old defender there? Would even Cardoso not have done the same job as a 38-year-old defender that's going to come in and and maybe not play a particular part in this? So Gerrard's had to make a lot of decisions. it may well transpire that not every single one of them is going to be right. But I'm of the opinion that in a transfer window, if you can get 50% of your transfers correct, you have absolutely one to watch, because it can be an absolute lottery.
You know. On you go, Robbie. How did you find the show? How long you been listening for? And before we go to Bridge, because we've reached that time.
40 minutes or so.
All right.
Been on and off. I know you want to talk about Gareth McCauley tomorrow, but he's not going to play a lot. He'll coach the young ones. He's played in the Euros, 200 appearances in the Premier League, 38. He's definitely not going to play.
Experience. Listen, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening where we've wound up the show. Bridgeman.
Oh, what another smashing night tonight. Great discussions. Well done to everybody. I could just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one of us, heads up now, guys. Come on, keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need us.
You're here. Can I thank yourself, Bridge, Cushy, Fox, the Coop, the one and only Coop, Blue Shadow, Robbie for joining us this evening, Rudy Bear, and Tom and Big G for Hamilton for taking the time to phone the show. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 9 and 11 talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Fox.